Okay, so next on the show, we're going to take a look at a film that you've probably heard a lot about this week going into the Oscars. The film is called Promising Young Woman, which is still out in cinemas now. Had a bit of a weird release here in Australia because I saw this film during lockdown here in Melbourne. It was showing at a few of the select cinemas when things opened up in that kind of brief opened up period that we had, but I know that it opened a lot later everywhere else. Now, this film, of course, did pick up an Oscar. It picked up a Best Screenplay Oscar for its screenwriter-director, Emerald Fennell, who's probably better off known for her acting, I have to say. She's directed one short film before she did this film, and I have to say, of all of the directors that I've kind of seen over the last 12 months the work of, she is one that I'm most excited to see where she goes as a director, because I was absolutely blown away by this movie. Now, going into it, I wasn't sure what to expect. Being a white male, I was kind of like, is this film going to be aimed at me, having a go at me kind of thing? But look, I thought this movie was absolutely amazing. It centers around this character called Cassandra, played by Carey Mulligan, and basically a few years earlier, one of her friends ended up committing suicide after an assault that happened on her. And Cassandra has decided that she is going to spend her days seeking out vengeance for those that did that and what they did in the past. It is an absolutely phenomenal story. I found myself absolutely captivated with this film, and I found myself thinking that it was one of the best endings I think I've seen, best finales that I've seen for in a movie for a long, long time. There are twists and turns all the way through this film, especially when Cassandra meets Ryan, played by Bo Burnham, a former classmate of hers. I don't want to give away too much of the storyline, because this film, the power of this film, I think, is going into it not knowing what to expect from the storyline. My only weakness I found with this film was at the very beginning. At the very beginning, we see Cassandra go into clubs and kind of pretend that she is so drunk that guys can take advantage of her. She then sobers up, and I say sobers with little quotes around it because she's actually not drunk. When she wakes up and starts to tell them then about what they've done wrong, and those scenes are really powerful, but I felt there was too many at the actual start. The power of this film kind of comes out later on when Cassandra is meeting with people like Madison, played by Alison Brie. And there's an amazing scene here later on as well where she confronts the dean at the college at which her and her friends studied at. Those are the powerful moments of this film, and I think that early on, because we saw so many of those scenes, some people would already have kind of lapsed into this, okay, this movie is going to drag out. And I'm not saying that those scenes don't work. There's a great scene there with Christopher Mintz-Plasse in it, but I just felt that there was too many early on, and it kind of held the film back. But man, when this movie reaches its peak, does it reach its peak? It has amazing twists and turns all the way through it. There's no surprise to me at all why Emerald Fennell ended up winning the Oscar for Best Screenplay, because this screenplay is absolutely phenomenal. It has a finale that is going to stay with you for a long, long time after you've watched the film. The same with Carey Mulligan's performance. Her performance here is utterly spectacular. I was kind of disappointed that she didn't get some Oscar recognition for her performance, because she carries this film. She's basically in every scene of this movie, and she has some really, really harsh scenes that she has to act out. I cannot recommend this movie highly enough. I absolutely loved this film. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5. It would have got a 5 if that first part hadn't have dragged on so much, but a 4.5 out of 5 for me for Promising Young Woman.